Today I have another really fun and easy dog treat recipe you can try at home, and that is making miniature or mini chicken pot pie treats using a little bit of oat flour, large chicken breast, handful of veggies, a little bit of broth, and a few seasonings if you choose to add those in, or a few fresh dog-friendly herbs to combine to make some really cool mini treats for your dog. So let's just jump in and get started. If you watched any of my other treat videos, you know I do like to use oat flour, which is I just make myself. Just grinding it down here or pulsing it in my food processor. I just throw in some whole rolled oats, pulse it for a minute or two, and then this is what I get. I think oats in moderation are thought to be really good for dogs just because they do have a lot of other added nutritional value that you don't get from other flour sources. And of course, a lot of dogs have allergies to wheat and other things. So oats is can be a nice alternative. So do your own research and give this a try if you want to for your dog. So today, what I have here as my base was a baked large chicken breast. I always bake my chicken breast at 400 degrees. I drizzle a little bit of olive oil or whatever other healthy oil you have on hand. You can do that as well. Some of the same dog-friendly herbs I like to add into the recipes. I will also sprinkle on my chicken. So this just has a little bit of oregano and sage, and then of course the olive oil. As the chicken bakes, it is obviously going to create its own juices, which creates pan drippings, which is phenomenal, which is kind of what I have here. This is kind of left over. And I always save these. I've said this before. I love to use pan drippings in treat recipes because it adds a nice punch of flavor. And so I'll show you how I add that in a little bit later in the recipe. So again, this is my baked chicken breast. It was pretty big, and I've already chopped it here. When you first pull your chicken breast out the oven, a little trick to get it to cool faster, to kind of keep things moving along, you just kind of slice it in kind of long strips, let it sit for a few minutes, and it's going to cool like that. And so once you've got your strips, you then can just come through and chop, chop, chop really quickly, work your meat. And then you've got this nice pile like I've got here, perfect and ready to go to blend into your treat mixture. So for this recipe, we're starting with about 1 1/2 cups of oat flour or whatever other flour you want to use. I've got roughly 1 cup, no, this is exactly 1 cup of a bone broth. You can use your own homemade broth. Or you can get a really low sodium or no sodium store-bought chicken broth, but with broths, you just want to watch the salt content. So again, for moisture, that's why I'm adding the broth. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour that in. If you don't have broth on hand and you want to just jump in and try this recipe based on, using what you have at home, you can always just use water. You don't have to do a fancy broth or anything. But again, I like to layer in nutrients in as many ways as I can, and I love, like, a bone broth is a great way to do that. I'm just mixing the broth in now. But again, obviously use what you have, get what you can afford, what makes sense, and then just add in about a cup of either broth or water to give your mixture the moisture it needs. So far that's just my 1 1/2 cups of the oat flour and then my 1 cup of the bone broth mixed in. Now the next thing you're going to want to add in is about a cup of peas and carrots. Classic veggie, often added in with, if you've had chicken pot pie or any version of a pot pie, whether it's chicken or turkey or beef, peas and carrots are kind of that staple. So that's why I'm adding that here, and it's a great veggie for your dogs. And this was actually from a package of frozen peas and carrots. I just dumped the amount I needed in my measuring cup, heated some water in my tea kettle, and then poured that. I didn't have it boiling, but just kind of nice and warm, or more warm to the hot side, and then let it sit for a minute or two, and that just kind of softens it and gets it ready for you to jump in and throw it into your recipe, which is what I have done here. So this looks really good. I don't know if you can see this. So far we got our oat flour, we got our broth going, and then I just tossed in some peas and carrots. One of the things I really love about this recipe is just how quick and easy it is. because we're pretty much almost done. Now this next step is totally optional. You do not have to do this. I do recommend you do your own research in terms of dog-friendly herbs, but there is a lot of good research and information out there about rosemary, which is what I'm putting in here now. Rosemary, oregano is another one, is fantastic. You can do dried or fresh. You're just gonna throw in a pinch of each or a few sprinkles of each. And then if you don't know already, I'm a huge fan of turmeric. I am just about out. I had just ordered some more, so I'm hoping it comes today. So I'm just gonna toss in what's left, and it's just great for so many things. Anti-inflammatory, great, great, great. And it tastes amazing, and it's gonna add a nice kind of golden color to whatever you add it to. So now I'm mixing in my rosemary, my dried oregano, and then I sprinkled in just a little bit of that turmeric that I had left. And this, oh gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. And just as a little funny aside, so when I was kind of preparing to make this earlier, I had my chicken breast, you know, I said I had it kind of cooling in those nice strips and slices. I literally had to fight the kids off. They kept asking, oh, can I have one? Can I have one? I was like, well, no, I need it. I need it. I had to promise to make them some of their own later. So that just shows you how flavorful and aromatic this recipe really is. Like, I could kid you not, they were trying to eat my ingredients. So anyway, so now I've got my flour, I've got my broth, got my peas and carrots, and I added my dog-friendly herbs and seasonings, the turmeric, the oregano, and the rosemary. And now I have my one large chicken breast already chopped and cooked, and it's going straight into the mixture. And it's already cooled nicely. So I'm gonna switch that up now. And then now I'm just gonna kind of gently fold in. Oh, this is great. Oh, it smells so good. It's making me hungry. So you're gonna just kind of nicely fold in your chicken. And it just looks so, so good. And then the very last ingredient, well, last two ingredients, I'm gonna add 1 egg. And then, like I said before, earlier, I love to save some of those pan drippings to kind of add a little extra moisture when needed. And then also, it's just a huge bonus for flavor. So here goes my 1 egg. And I just do that on top. You can beat your egg beforehand and then put it in that way, but it's, for this recipe, and it's not that big a deal. So you just want to get that egg well combined and folded in nicely. And then once that's pretty much well blended, that's when you're gonna kind of get that final look, okay, how moist or dry is my mixture? And if it's just about right, then go ahead and add those pan drippings if you want. If you don't have pan drippings, that's fine. Just kind of skip that step. Oh yeah, this is, oh, I wish you guys could smell this. But yeah, does that look good? So basically, while you're doing this mixture, like combining all these ingredients, you're gonna have your oven preheated for 325 degrees. And then the other step before you start your mixture, if you want to, I've already done it, is you're gonna wanna get your mini muffin pan. Now, if you don't have a mini muffin pan, you can take this same mixture and bake it kind of flat onto like a baking sheet if you want, but it's not going to give you the little individual treat pieces that this recipe provides, which is kind of the fun part. Like, again, they literally look like these little miniature mini pot pies for your dog. So if you don't have a miniature muffin pan, you could always use a larger muffin tin and just kind of cut it up. But again, these aren't too expensive, and it would be a good investment if you like to make treats for your dog. So what I've done here, I love olive oil, but you can use avocado oil. Again, whatever healthy oil you have on hand. This is a non-stick muffin pan, but I always drizzle just a little bit of olive oil over it, which I've already done. And then I just take my hand and kind of work it around each little section. But you don't have to. Some people like to use a paper towel. I just feel like when you use a paper towel, a lot of it just kind of gets absorbed in the paper towel. But you can see, I don't know if you can see that, there's lots of good oil all through the bottom of all the little sections. And then the last thing, you don't have to do this either, but I like to, I always just add a little bit of oil on my hand itself. Anytime I'm going to be handling something that's going to need to go, like I'm going to handle it with my hands, it just helps keep things from sticking too much. And that's literally it. So I've got my mixture all combined, my oats, my broth, peas and carrots, 1 egg, and then my dog-friendly herbs, the rosemary, oregano, and then the turmeric. Now this is again optional, but if you have those pan drippings, this is when you want to add it. This is just my tablespoon. I like it just as a good estimate. But I'm an eyeball kind of cook. I'll probably do about a couple of tablespoons with those delicious oh my gosh. Oh, this is making me hungry. Okay, focus. Okay, here we go. I'm mixing this in, and then we're gonna just dollop them into these little pans and pop these bad boys in the oven, and that is literally it. So again, your oven is preheated or preheating for 375, and they're gonna bake at 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. And then when they're done, you're gonna have the cutest little mini chicken pot pie treats for your dog. So I'm gonna take my same little tablespoon scooper just to kind of get a good big dollop into each little muffin opening. Oh yeah. And the other cool thing, like if you do have some pan drippings left from when you do your when you bake your chicken, it's gonna add that a little extra, you know, juiciness and healthy fat to your mixture, which makes it's gonna make it less likely to kind of stick to anything anyway. But again, this is obviously, it's a non-stick muffin tin, and you're gonna just go through, dollop them in. I'm just gonna do a few so you guys can see my process. And then I have some that I baked earlier that I'm gonna pull out. I'm trying to keep them warm in the oven so you guys can see. But once you have them in all the openings, remember how I went and put that oil on my hands? That's when you're gonna go through and just kind of make sure you get them down into, kind of press down in there. That way when they come out, they really get that nice round shape, muffin shape, right? And if it's flush to the edge, it's fine. But if it goes over a little, you're gonna get more of that kind of muffin top look, but it doesn't really matter. I like to have these as kind of treats, smaller size treats. I mean, this would be small for a big dog. So if you have a little dog, you definitely can kind of cut these in half. But again, once they're baked and ready and cooled, you just pop these in a Ziploc bag and they're good to go. So obviously I'm gonna finish this and use the rest of the mixture, but I want you guys to see how cool these look when they come out. So let me show you that now, because this is literally one of my favorite treats. And it looks so impressive. So if you ever needed to give a dog a gift, or some family, a friend, a gift for their dog, like I'm telling you, this would be a huge hit. So these are the ones that I made earlier. Oh yeah, they're still pretty warm, but isn't that cool? And you can see like the bits of chicken, the peas, the carrots. Oh my God, and it smells so good. Now it's hard to find treats that are made with just real ingredients, no garbage, no fillers, no byproducts. And this is made for a fraction of the cost, and you know what's in it, and your dogs will love it. So please give this a try. I hope this was helpful and something new and fun that you can try for your dog. And if you do give this a try, please come back, leave a comment, let me know if your dog liked it, how it worked out for you. But again, come back, check out another video, and I hope this was helpful. Thanks.